YouTube, fellas, guys, girls, whatever. This is the first video that I'm doing on the BA Falcon XR6 Falcon Ute S-Pack. Is going to be installing a very cheap route of going sound system wise. I've got only things that I needed were new were like the speaker cables and that. I went on Marketplace for the amps and the subwoofer. I bought the 5x7 inch speakers brand new, but everything else, everything else I had to buy new off of eBay or through the store. So got some speaker cable, we've got the amp wiring kits. They reckon they're 8 gauge, but they're not. I reckon they're probably more like 14 or maybe 16 gauge. But I've got 2 of them, so I've got one for each amplifier. Got some super tweeters there, like they're only like $6 a pair, so I'm gonna give them a go. Got a line level converter because the head unit or the main system on these Falcons don't have RCA output, so I'm going to get this here. First time I've ever tried using one before, but I've got like RCA supplied in there, so that's another reason why I went for buying 2 kits, is because I get the RCA cable on each one. So one feed for each amplifier. I'll probably get some piggyback connectors and sort that out. So it's splitters, sorry, RCA splitters. So I'll go one output to 2. I've got the Bluetooth cable connector kit to Bluetooth to this current radio. So I'll be checking that out, see if that works. Be doing that first. I've got Soundstream amplifier, which is about a 20-year-old vintage, and I've got this Orion Cobalt, or whatever you want to pronounce it. We just got that there, so they'll be running the front Soundstream 5x7. So got the Soundstream 5x7, so they cost me $50 from eBay. This amp cost me $80. This amp cost me $60, and the sub and the amplifier, most importantly, the depth of the sub box, it was a really shallow one, so I paid him what he was asking. That was $100 for the sub and box. So that's it. So the Soundstream amp is going to be running the sub, the Orion amplifier is going to be running the 5x7s, and separate power cables for each one, rather than dealing with like one 4-gauge splitter. Running the line level output, with getting music and whatnot from the Bluetooth module, and I've got this clamp here that clamps onto the dash. So I'm going to see how that works out and see if it's reasonable with its mounting. Speaker cable. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running the speaker cable into the door and back out of the door to get the line level for the line level output, so that I'm not chasing down in the firewall for the speaker outputs. I'll go to where they're terminated at where the speaker is, and terminate there, and then run that back through the door jamb. But first things first, I'll be putting the sub into the sub box and see if that mounts behind the back of the seat. So got it here. That's the gap. I don't know if you can see, but that's what I've got to play with down there, and that's the factory unit there. So I don't mind the knobs twisting them and that's the stuff for volume, but that's it. And put the little Bluetooth module from down underneath in there. So we'll see how we go. All right, I'll see you in a second. Well, there's our first problem. Is the hole is too small for the subwoofer, so we're gonna have to get a jigsaw and route that out a little bit larger. So, but that's first problem we've encountered with the sub box. So what I'll do is I'll just take the sub out and just see if the box fits down there in behind the seat. So there we go. All right, so that's how much room we've got behind the seat there. That's the seat most of the way back, so that's what we're up against there. So it's going to be just enough to get that sub in there. Can have the seat further forward a bit more, but as you can hear audio now, that is actually coming through the Bluetooth. I've got him like just there. I've got to like mount it perfectly. So that's it there. Now I noticed it was down on the audio side, like through the unit, which I'm going to compensate with the gain structure of the amplifiers, like probably give them a little bit more so they're a little bit more hot from the line level converter. But yeah, like that's that. So we've got Bluetooth now, like which goes alright. I'll just shut this door. Goes alright, but it's not oops, sorry about the camera. It's not as loud as I could possibly want it. So that's the speakers distorting there anyway, so it's a little bit probably too hot for it, but that's it. I've got the foam set up there, so yeah, the box will work and the Bluetooth units work, so it's right. Probably next up, maybe try running some cables, route that sub box out, and yeah, get the door skins off and mount the speakers. But that's not a job for today. We're going to do that another day. So that's all I want to do today, is just make sure the sub box would fit and the Bluetooth unit works. And yeah, finding out that I've got to route out that for that 12-inch subwoofer, that's going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's it. That's the cheapest under $500 sound system getting installed into a BA Falcon. So hope you enjoy. All right, ciao. Okay, update on the stereo. Well, I was trying to keep things quite on the cheaper side by using a second-hand sub, and I thought the problem with this was just that it needed to be routed around the edges, but it turns out that the actual height of the sub a little bit too large. So I've gone out and I've bought myself a shallow sub or slimline sub, the cast magnesium basket. That's a Kenwood 12-inch unit. So I've just put that in there, and I've still got to like route out some of the corners of the sub, route out the edges of the enclosure to get the sub in there. So, but I'm happy with that. It was a couple of $100 for the Kenwood subwoofer. So sort of blew the cheap car audio installation out of the water. It was most expensive thing that I purchased. But yeah, anyway, so I've been looking at what path I'm going to be taking for the power to the amplifiers, and there's absolutely nothing in the firewall there. There's like no spare holes with grommets, so I'm gonna have to like come down here where the clutch master cylinder goes in. So I've got two 8-gauge cables to go in, so one to each amp. So I think that's going to be the way to go. It's going to be it's going to get pretty tight in there. Hopefully I can do it and pull it off, but it should be good. And the other problem is that I have got is getting the speaker cables through the grommets. So these have got like a massive clip and rubber there, but I've also got this cap here. So I've got these on both sides. So what I'm going to do is like see if I've actually got entry point and see if that goes into the cabin easy enough. So I'll probably pop that off and try and run a speaker cable and see where it comes out, or a bit of broken down coat hanger. The other thing is that what I'm going to be working is I'm going to get the Torx bit from the hardware from the automotive shop, and get the Torx bit for the tool so I can remove the seats, because I will be mounting the amplifiers underneath the seats. But that's pretty much it. So I've checked out and figured out which way I'm going to do it. So when I get the Torx bit, remove the seats, front passenger and drivers, start running the cables, and yeah, get it all through. So yeah, and get the door cards off, get the speakers, the 5.7 inch speakers into the door cavities. A good thing with these speakers is that the Soundstream ones that I chose, they've got a high sensitivity of 92 decibels. So that means 92 decibels of 1 watt 1 meter. So they're going to be really efficient with the amplifier. The subwoofer there, it's also she's rated at 92 decibels. So it's not going to take much power to like get these speakers up and going. But yeah, probably next video will be with me after I've installed the cables, run the cables, and getting the amplifiers into position. Right guys, I'll speak to you later. There we go, we have success. So I've popped that grommet off, and I found it getting pretty free up in there, so I was able to run the cable through, so it worked out quite well. That might be the first thing I do is install the speakers in the front and run the cables. So I run a smaller gauge that's going to go to the smaller gauge from the smaller gauge from the head unit. That's going to go to the RCA converter, or the line level to a low level. So that's going to do that job, and I'm going to have the speaker cable going to it from the amplifier. So I've got two cables to run through the doors. One other thing is that the remote turn on for the amplifiers, I'm going to use the from the Bluetooth. Like, I notice that it works when there's accessories power to it, so I'm going to piggyback off the power in there and bring it through for the remote turn on. So, but yeah, that's it. So I'm pretty happy with that. I got my soldering iron, everything here ready to go. So it's going to be one full day of installing. Not today, but tomorrow hopefully. All right, cheers, bye. All right, I've got the factory speaker out here, and I've got the Soundstream 5x7 inch speaker to go in here. Judging by the height, they're roughly the same. Far greater size of the magnet on the back of the Soundstream unit. So they say these handle quite a fair bit of power, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, we've got the factory hole here. So what I'm going to do is, that's the speakers there. I'm going to run a cable from here to go into the cabin to join up to the speaker line level connector. So I'm probably going to go up under there, and then I'll be like running another cable back out to the new speaker, to the Soundstream speaker, and I'll be running that amplifier will be over the driver's side, because on the passenger side that's where we're going to have the sub amplifier. So yeah, gonna get this speaker and install it, run the cable, and yeah, hopefully that'll be all done with the doors, with the new speaker in. Alright guys, see you in a sec. Alright, got the speakers in the door, and I've run the cable to and from the doors. So I was able to like get up into that grommet there, cut into the rubber grommet underneath it, and threaded it through. So not the greatest, but it'll do the trick. What I'll do is put a bit of electrical tape around that to make it a little bit nicer. And there's like bare wires hanging out. But yeah, I got the amplifier. Well, the amplifier's in there. So I've got the over that side for the front speakers. I've got here for the amp for the sub. So got that going on there. Got the 8 gauge cables, which is not really 8 gauge, but hopefully should be able to push at least 40 amps over the top of that, such a short distance. Good thing I upgraded these speakers. There's a bit of a tear in the cone there. That's it, that's the speakers there. Sorry, my light's gone out. Yeah, 92 dB sensitivity, so But what we're doing now is running the power cable from the battery. We're running it down either side along the kick panels or the floor side panels. Cutting a bit of the carpet there, making an incision, and bring the cables up through the underneath the carpet. As thread them across. You get that? Yeah. So basically, it's just the final run of the cables and get the line level to a high level converter. I don't have a splitter, an RCA splitter. I'll have to grab one from an electronics store tomorrow. So, but I've still got to do some alterations to that sub box to fit the shallow sub. So, but yeah, that's it. So, I'm about to run the power cables, and then remote wire, and yeah, check it all out. Alright guys, see you soon.